What's up, guys? Danny here from the Lacercast, and as you can see from the background, I'm not at home in front of my little horror station. I am at work on a lunch break, but I got Chucky behind me, and I'm here to talk to you about episode 1 of Chucky, which is a joint production from USA and SYFY. And I gotta tell you, this felt fantastic. I really enjoyed this episode, and one thing that has been continuous about the Chucky franchise is that it has singularly been in the hands of Don Mancini, with the exception of the reimagining that came out a couple years ago. Don Mancini has had a say in Chucky from the first film in 1988 all the way until today. I was 6 years old in 1988. I had a Teddy Ruxpin. I had a My Pet Monster. So the idea that one of my toys, my big toys, can come to life and threaten to kill me and kill my family was just genuinely scary. I've showed this movie. Charlotte has seen Child's Plays 1 and 2, loves them. We actually met Alex Vincent and Christina Leese at Monster Mania back in August. She had a great time. That was fantastic. Anyway, the new series just debuted last night at 10 o'clock. I couldn't watch it live because at 10 o'clock last night, Pete and I were interviewing David Weiner, the director of In Search of Darkness, parts 1, 2, and soon to be part 3. That interview will be up on our channel later this week. It's another in a line of great interviews that we have up on our channel. We've gotten to interview Joe R. Lansdale, Keith Lansdale, Josh Mallerman, Max Booth III, all of these great minds in horror. David Weiner added to the list. He's a friend of the channel. He's been on before. We had a great time with him last night. You'll see that interview later this week. Let's talk about Chucky, Episode 1, Death by Misadventure. Love the title of this, and you'll understand where that title comes a little bit later. I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as I can. Go and watch Episode 1. It was, with commercials, it was an hour, and it was rated R for language. They dropped F-bombs and some big-time curse words in there. And the number one thing, along with Don Mancini being the director and the head writer for this first episode and this series in general, it is so nice to hear the sweet, dulcet tones of Brad Dourif returning again to the role of Chucky. And this is with no disrespect to Mark Hamill, who played Chucky in the reimagining that came out a couple years ago. I genuinely like that movie, which I know is an unpopular opinion. I did like that movie. I thought it was gory as heck. I thought Mark Hamill did a great job. But Brad Dourif is Chucky. There's just something to the laugh and the tone in his voice. It's so perfect. It's like, as weird as this is to say, it's like Robert Englund and Freddy Krueger. We saw in the remake, Jackie Earle Haley is a great actor, but if you're not Robert Englund, you shouldn't be Freddy Krueger. And if you're not Brad Dourif, you shouldn't be Chucky. And yeah, he was great. A great return to form here. Now, for a first episode, Chucky isn't in that much of it. This is a world-building episode, and the world-building centers around Jake Weber, a 14-year-old boy played by Zackary Arthur. And I think he does a very good job in this show. He's tasked with a lot in this first episode. We know some things about him. We know that his mother has died in an accident. He's living alone with his father, played by Devon Sawa, who is basically your traditional, stereotypical drunk, goes to work, has no time for his son, who's a little weird. It's hinted at very strongly that he's gay, that Jake is gay, and that doesn't sit well with his very blue-collar father. Jake is also an aspiring artist. We kind of find out that his mother was into art as well, and she was an artist. He has this really interesting, weird art statue that he's working on, made out of different parts of dolls. Very weird, very creepy. Devon Sawa is actually dual cast. He plays, obviously, twins as the dad. He also plays the uncle, who's a much more successful, cleaner, shaven version of Devon Sawa. It's great to see Devon Sawa back in the horror genre. This is a guy who grew up as a kid doing Casper, and then, of course, was in Final Destination. He was in one of my favorite films of 2020, Hunter x Hunter, which I think is still available on Hulu. Oh my God, go watch that movie. Unbelievable. So it's great to see him coming back and leaning into the horror again. And he's excellent in this show, playing this dual role as the dad and the uncle. So basically, Jake... the show starts and Jake buys Chucky at a yard sale. We find out, according to IMDb, this is supposed to take place like right after Cult of Chucky, which was the last movie in the official Child's Play canon, not counting the 2019, I believe, remake. Cult of Chucky came out, and yeah, so this movie takes place after that. And he buys Chucky at a yard sale, and some weird stuff starts happening, of course. And yeah, we have he's being bullied at school. His cousin is really an asshole to him. His cousin's girlfriend is an even bigger asshole to him, and Chucky helps him get even. Later on in the episode, Chucky does this great thing where he allows Jake to kind of use him as a ventriloquist dummy, which of course Jake has no control over. It's just Chucky, Brad Dourif mouthing off, and it's this fantastic scene. But yeah, it's the movie. The episode plays on a lot of themes that you can tell are very important to Don Mancini. He's openly gay, and so there's a lot of how if you're a kid struggling with homosexuality, not struggling, but if struggling with coming to terms with who you are, and your sexual orientation, especially in like a middle school setting where other kids can be such jerks and bullies, even family members can be jerks and bullies. So there's a lot of that, and that that hit home for me, and I enjoyed that aspect of the show. And again, I think Zackary Arthur, he takes a lot of responsibility in this role, and this is a hard role. It's not just like horror movie kid. So I think he does a great job, and I'm interested to see where it goes, because of course the show does take some darker turns in the last third of the episode. Again, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but let's just say by the next episode, Jake will be living somewhere else, and Chucky is known to him. We do get a very intriguing phone call to Jake, where an unidentified caller asks if Chucky is for sale, and asks if the doll is called Chucky, and we're led to believe that, maybe it's Andy Barclay coming. And we do kind of start to see the previews for the next episodes, where we have Andy Barclay, I called him Andy Barclay, Alex Vincent, Christina Elise, returning cast members. Just look it up on IMDb. Fiona Dourif is in the credits. There's going to be names and faces that you're going to recognize, and I'm very excited to see where the show goes. As an episode, as a pilot, I really enjoyed it, and I was laughing out loud at some of Chucky's scenes and some of Chucky's lines, and it's just great to hear Brad Dourif's voice again. And I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up the rated R language, and there wasn't so much violence and gore, but it is strongly hinted that we're going to get a lot of that in the future. So that is episode 1 of Chucky. It is on, what was last night? Tuesdays, I guess, on USA and SYFY at 10 o'clock. And you should definitely go and check out episode 1 if you haven't seen it. And leave a comment if you did. Tell me what you think. And we'll have a lot more. Our interview with David Weiner will be up on the channel, we're hoping, by Thursday. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock show, Halloween Kills. You'll get my instant reaction as soon as I get out of the theater. I can't wait. See you soon on the Lasercast.